she has a cat named Inertia. And this cat, because it spent so much time walking across her keyboard, has inspired a Warby Academy class called Data Cleaning with Cats. Please welcome Stacy.
Hello. I'm here to tell you that you already have the perfect data science stakeholder. Now, some of you are sitting there and saying, wait, but my stakeholders aren't really data-driven. That's okay. You can fix them up a bit with a data-driven makeover using lessons learned from TV makeovers that transform people's look, home, and habits. Wait, go. Wait, how do I advance? This one. Sorry. Wait, down. Can someone show me how to advance the slides? It's not going. Not on there. Space, enter. No, no, help. Help, someone. Can see it on my computer. Hello? Help. This is totally, I don't know where it went.
Hold on.
And I don't know how to advance it.
Use these.
No, it didn't work. Oh, now it works. Okay, cool. Perfect.
You good?
Yes.
Cool. You don't need that.
Okay, so a regular makeover starts. Perhaps this person I care about could focus on themselves and do a little bit better. Let me call the makeover team. So how does a Warby Parker makeover start? Well, Neil and Dave, our co-CEOs, sometimes call people into a room and say, this is good, but maybe you could be more data-driven. And this doesn't mean they're not using data already, or they aren't using it well, but they do want a little bit less, I feel it in my heart, and a little bit more, I feel it in my dashboard. So how does the data science team play into this? Because we are not dashboard makers, and we don't want to be. Well, we do 3 things on our data science team. One is AI or ML models, like the technology that enables you to virtually try on glasses. We do decision support for very complex questions with huge business impact. Like we did the analysis around where to put the second optical lab. It was in Las Vegas. And if you're interested in those 2 types of things, I have other colleagues at this conference, and you should find them. I think Christina is here today. But the thing that I do at Warby Parker is I do data literacy. And what that means is empowering people with the skills and tools necessary to understand, explore, use, and make decisions with data and communicate those decisions effectively. Now, why are we investing time and energy here? We're not asking everyone to become a data scientist or develop some magic AI machine, but every single stakeholder can learn how to be more data savvy and understand how to use their data more effectively and efficiently. My job is to create opportunities for them to move up that spectrum so we can distribute the squishy middle of complex problems across more people in the company. When this happens, analysts are empowered, they feel ownership over their problems, and it increases the bandwidth of all analysis at Warby Parker. The company can know things about itself really, really quickly and make good decisions. So what do I do to achieve moving up that spectrum? Well, most of my time I spend creating and delivering broadly applicable training resources and tools for the whole organization, like data cleaning with cats. And some smaller amount of my time I spend doing these data-driven makeovers for specific teams that are stuck on a very high-value problem. So now that we've established the need for the makeover and that I am the person doing this, there are 2 ways that this makeover can go. The first way is, I cannot believe you've been living in squalor and ignorance this whole time. You should feel very bad about yourself. And that is definitely not my preferred method. The way I go about approaching this makeover is you are a very successful person with a lot of competing priorities. And perhaps if we can focus in on your data for a bit, you can dramatically improve your workflows. I want to be their data science fairy godmother. So before we can go into the actual things that can transform these workflows, we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. And that is that on makeover shows, personal grooming definitely makes some people nervous. But what I've discovered giving these data-driven makeovers is data really makes some people nervous. And this is indicated by things people say to me in the first meeting. First is like, I was an English or a French or a music major. How many people in this room were a liberal arts major, just so I can like take this back? Thank you, my liberal arts people. I was not, but people confide in me that they failed 8th grade algebra. I like that doesn't have any impact on your work issue. Or they'll quietly say that, by the way, I'm not a math person. So the first thing I do is I quote makeover icon Jonathan Van Ness and say, when people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that's not true, because you can reinvent yourself and learn new things whenever you want. And then I can also position my stakeholder as a hero or heroine, actually recognizing them as the domain experts that they are. And this is freeing, because as the person that's helping them, I don't need to know everything in the world, just a few tips and tricks to up their game, because I can ask basic questions about their data and learn about whole new functional areas of the business that I've never considered before. And also, when you recognize your stakeholder as a hero or heroine, you're helping them build their confidence to embrace new skills. And you could say something like, wow, look at that gorgeous data you're generating. I should qualify this by saying make sure it's true, because if it's not, your stakeholder is going to see right through that immediately. Now, I'm going to present some actual tips and tricks I've used, which is a little scary in this audience because they're geared very much for data beginners. So imagine yourself way back at the beginning of your data journey, or alternatively, if you were data-driven in utero, put on your empathy hat and empathize with someone with a dramatically different skill set that are domain experts in their field. But these suggestions are going to be pretty basic. So, something I learned from makeover shows is when you see someone who has a mullet, you know that that mullet is going to have to go, maybe even first. The subject of the makeover doesn't know this. I don't know how. I feel like I would research that before getting on television. Often that mullet has served that person for a very long time. And trusting someone to cut that off is a really big deal. So what's the data science equivalent of a mullet? Well, storing categorical variables as free-form text. This is a housing listing, and it says, welcome to your perfectly located 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom row home, complete with fantastic full living room, dining room, kitchen, ground level recreation room, and separate entry, direct access from your fully fenced-in backyard, 1-car attached garage with space for 2 cars, located 1 block from NYC transportation, and moments from shopping, restaurants, and entertainment. This gem is not to be missed. And because you're all data scientists, you know you can pull valuable categorical information out of this free text, including bedrooms, bathrooms, fenced-in yards, basements, and garages, and that will allow you to compare it to other properties. My stakeholders don't always know this, so I inform them, and sometimes it's a real mind shift that takes a bit to get used to. What's another makeover tip that I can give my stakeholders? Some makeovers are focused on healthy habits. And that type of makeover could teach you to make eggs. This isn't a deeply impressive culinary skill, but if you didn't know how to do it before, it's going to dramatically improve your life. What's a data mullet? Data eggs, I'm sorry. Is there a pattern to how your data is wrong? Because if there is, you could clean it with a formula and not touch individual entries ever again. And then when you get to a home makeover and you see a sink full of dishes, you know that makeover team is not going to stand there on national television washing things. But they might embrace permanent automation by installing a dishwasher in that home. And I definitely encourage my stakeholders to embrace permanent automation. So I'm never going to make a dashboard for you, but if I teach you how to use our BI tool, you are never going to update a dashboard ever again at 9 a.m. on Monday. So when picking areas of focus, I like to think about pain and impact. The ideal project to start with is low pain and high impact. What does low pain look like? A really quick automation, a time saver, something they talk about, wow, I'm so excited to try this. High impact could be dollars, time savings, understanding a problem they're thinking about. A higher pain solution, number 2 up there, requires more trust, leaving aside conventional wisdom, abandoning a tool they're really comfortable with, it takes a lot of time to implement, or leaving the defaults in anything. And mid-makeover, you know it's working when people start saying, I'm really curious about something else, or how am I going to learn more about this, or I want to make sure I can do this on my own. Can you show me how to do all those things again? And we want to set them up for success during and after this makeover. So like a makeover show, we want to make sure we leave them with souvenirs. Instead of clothing or home renovation or lots of toiletries, we leave our stakeholders with learning resources like documentation, books, e-learning, Warby Academy courses, Analyst Guild, office hours. We leave them with higher quality analysis. Once we've partnered on a specific project, we want to make sure the analysis that comes out of that makeover is really good, something our stakeholder can be proud to put on their boss's desk or even hand off to Neil and Dave. And we want to make sure all of this fits into the rubric of demonstrated skills for their performance review or promotion packet, so they're going to come out as a winner. At this point, we've gotten our stakeholder to their confident place with their data. We've armed them with a few tips and tricks, and they have a path forward to learn more. And we know this is really working at the end of a project when people say, wow, my work is so much faster and more reliable, or I feel more set up for success than I ever have before. Or, in one particularly meaningful case, our design team, who worked on crafting beautiful things every day, announced at their all-hands meeting that after working with us, their data was a thing of beauty, and I actually wept. So, at this point, you realize I care very deeply about this, but data literacy work is core to the data science mission. Why is that? Well, we have 150 people at Warby Parker who can now create dashboards. We have 1,000 people that read those dashboards. Those generate 1.5 million queries every week, and our data scientists don't touch any of that. Thank you.